Welcome to the Vision Profiles Podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, a podcaster, and an Apple product fan.
And I'm Eric Bolden. I work with IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content. Currently, photography of plants, birds, and panoramic sequences.
And I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast. I'm very passionate about technology, especially Apple, and I use it in my real-world experience as a 27-year IT professional and iPhone subject matter expert. I learn new things about the Vision Pro every day.
Well, Daniel was going to join us tonight. Up until this morning, he emailed me or messaged me through Discord and said, I have got some crud going on where he can barely talk. And so he hopes it's not another dose of COVID, but he's got something going on, so he can't join us tonight. And we hope he gets better soon and gets it figured out.
We do. Yes, we do.
So what's new? What's new for you guys this week? Anything new in the Apple Vision Pro stuff?
I just finished updating beta 2. It was sitting in it was just sitting in pending when I put it on. I'm like, oh crap, it didn't install. So it's done. Just finished.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did that this weekend with the intent of playing with it a little bit more, and it's one of those things where it just seemed to take forever for some reason. And there's no predictable reason when it happens that way. Sometimes it's quick and sometimes it's slow. So.
No, I've had some time with the dual strap, dual band headband, and I don't know. It just seems kind of weird the way it comes. I'm noticing when I have it on, over my face here on the eyes. Sometimes I see some of the edge of the Vision Pro up like this. So I'm gonna put my hands here, where it's like I see dark spots up here. Like I'm trying to adjust it, and I don't know. It's just weird because maybe it's just adjustment because when you're tightening down when you're tightening it down, it's a lot different experience what I'm feeling compared to when I had the Belkin strap and the single band. So maybe it's just something I got to get used to because I was looking at some of the immersive videos and I'm trying to adjust it. It's like, I don't want to see that dark spot at the top here. So unless you guys have experienced anything with that, that was the only other thing I'm coming across lately with it.
Yeah, I got a warning that my eyes were too close to the lenses. And it suggested that I put a W+, and I happen to have a W+. So I put a thicker pad on, and then that issue went away. But yeah, I don't know if my head has changed size. The thing is, the shield is shrunk, but sometimes I can see a little crack of light around there, which is different. Eric, do you have any? Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I'm saying, what is that M+? I'm not familiar with that.
W+.
It's W+. Excuse me.
It's wide plus. If you look on the inside of the foam.
On the headband itself. I mean,
on the headband itself. Each of those have a different rating.
The headband, or you're talking about the? I'm trying to grab this, or the. You're talking about this thing.
No. Well, look what Eric's got.
Yeah, these things that come out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
W and W+.
I think I have the W+.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Yeah, I did buy these. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one thing I noticed. Eric, did you notice anything funky about the fit?
Kind of. I tend to keep mine somewhat loose because I don't want any pressure anywhere. And it kind of like with the original single strap where it mattered on the back of your head where you positioned it, it seems to be just a little bit touchy. So occasionally I have to adjust it. But for the most part, it's been good. I can take it off. I can put it back on. I can tighten it, loosen it. I found that I have to more frequently readjust the top strap because it's either too high or too low.
Right. Yeah.
But since it's just a single click one way or the other, it's pretty fast. And yeah, it's actually been better for me because with my old strap, I had to keep it looser on my head, so I got a lot more of the warnings that I was too far away or not close enough or too far up or down or whatever. And I hardly get those at all now.
Yeah. For me this week, I signed up and went to Apple Vision Pro in higher education. And it was something that Apple put on as a training for higher ed. Mainly, I think probably tech administrators. It was supposed to be for educators. Now, what they did was they showed at the beginning a lot of videos and examples of how educators are using it, like the soldering program that we talked about here and other programs that were out there. And it was, so I find it, well, that's nice, but you haven't integrated it into the whole teaching process. So what do you do? You get 20 headsets for your students so they can all practice soldering, or is this a demonstration, or how does it work into the andragogy of teaching? And they didn't really capture that at all. They just kind of said, look at all the wonderful things that you can do with it. And I guess they were going to leave that up to us, but I felt that's the missing piece for me. Then they took a lot of questions from folks who wanted to know if there were discount programs for them to be able to acquire them. Do they have loaners for universities where they can have them for a couple of weeks? And basically they didn't get the answer. They didn't get an answer on that. They said, contact and talk to people. We really don't do loaners and such. So it didn't give me anything I didn't learn from this show and the stuff that we've covered on this show over the months. And it was a little unfulfilling. If they have then they gave you the connection and you can go to this site and you can connect with someone who will help you with all of this. And I don't know to what degree I will pursue that, but if they say, hey, we've got a second one coming up, yeah, I'll probably go to another training in terms of its use in higher education. I really wish they would have had educators and not technologists in there.
Yeah, it seems I've attended many of these Apple type events in the past, and if you looked at the group that was in there, besides the higher education, I already signed up for a lot of the IT based ones since I work in IT. So, like PSSO for multi-factor authentication and IT camps, and there's a lot of great information in there for my
Yeah.
role when I do. But yeah, the education one, I missed it, and I looked at it before I didn't sign up for it because I didn't think I would find of any help for me. But it looks like it was more of a focus, like IT for education, like they're doing a lot
Yeah.
of that type of support. Because I know with Jamp and support of devices in education is very 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 popular. I know Eric probably had that, and when he worked where he worked. So and I use Jamp as well. So yeah, so I don't know if for our viewers, listeners, I don't think it's probably much of a interest.
Yeah. They spent some time talking about JAMP and how to integrate it into your IT delivery. And there were some questions
Right.
in that area. But yeah, they kind
Yep.
of missed the whole part about education with it, as far as I was
Yeah.
concerned. Yeah.
That word was in there was a little probably too much of education. It's more
Not only
management
that,
in
it
education.
was
Yeah.
higher education. It was not just
Yeah.
education where I could be looking at elementary stuff that you can get kids to do with play with it. I intended kind
Yeah.
of high level. What can you do with it from a university standpoint? So anyway,
It it reminded me when I attended the JNUC conference, the Jamf user conference, and a lot of focus on education in that session. Either was those most of those sessions I wouldn't attend. So I mean, it's kind of similar to that. I think it was just that's what Apple does. They kind of do a lot of partnering with Jamf. So when it comes to that,
Well, last week with betas, I have to say last week because it came out on Tuesday and we record on Mondays. Beta 2 came out, and not much to say about it. There are release notes. We'll have that linked in the show notes for the show, but some things in terms of differences between Beta 1 and Beta 2. There's been more and greater Muse stylus support. Dave, have you had a chance to play with your Muse stylus yet?
I played it very little. I gotta make some time for it. It just
The
been
pressure
crazy busy.
force issues were fixed with it.
Okay.
And there's some new stylus event settings. Actually, Eric found an article, and we'll share it later on in the show, about the Muse and what different things those devices, along with the Sony controllers, can
Yeah.
do. AirDrop
I saw that.
is buggy now. The beta created a problem with AirDrop. Everyone everyone breaks down between B1 and B2. The store kit was fixed and now works in testing. Subscription status, you still have to wait 24 hours before a subscription status shows up. And then some other things in terms of debugging. They fixed allocations reporting. SharePlay in the TV app is now broken for DRM content, so you can't SharePlay those types of videos. There weren't known issues in Beta 1, but they went ahead and did some changes and broke it in Beta 2. And then the overall stability is better with input accuracy with Beta 2. I anticipate we'll see Beta 3 tomorrow. Now, of course, as I say that, it won't come out. But Dave, you said the betas for the other devices have come out today.
They did. I am on the Apple Seed for enterprise, so I get the advance notice before you start seeing it on the news stories. I just installed it on my iPhone 16e, and then it's available for iPad, and I think WatchOS, tvOS is available as well.
Yeah, when I sat down to this computer, of course, I got a notification that there's an update ready, and didn't touch it, not till after the show at least. So
Yeah, good move.
I won't take that risk or that time. So yeah, let's go to this article, which is something I just mentioned. Eric, you found this, and I'm going to kind of let you have a go at it. This is an article that is about streaming examples with HTTP live streaming, and this is off the developer site, and it talks about streams for Apple Vision Pro with examples for immersive, spatial, Apple projected media profile stream, 3D media stream. Did you get to play with this much?
Yeah, it's actually kind of neat because one of the problems is even if you produce content, how do you get it to somebody else? And so this is an example of content that's being served off of a website that you can then watch. The only thing really to kind of remember is that when you go to view the example, you get it in a 2D. You have to click on the full screen button to be able to actually get the depth part. And it was a little unclear to me how you decide what speed. I think maybe that's just set automatically based on your bandwidth. So some of them you end up with something that's kind of low res if you don't have a very good network. But it is nice to be able to see lots of different types of media and kind of what it would look like delivered over the web and what works, what doesn't work, what kind of stutters. It's sort of a nice preview to what you might experience eventually when we're trying to look at sports streams or something where lots of people are trying to get to the same thing. But it was a nice example.
Yeah.
So certainly worth browsing through.
Yeah. And again, link will be in the show notes, both in the video and the audio podcast of the show. This one I found, and I know I kind of laugh at the title. I should be nicer, but it's by It's on the Glass Almanac. And what it is it Vision Pro reveals M5 performance gains in 2025, why it matters now. And I think we'll have an article later on that talks about how enterprise are kind of looking at how this becomes a little bit more of a larger issue in terms of enterprise. So key figures that change AR performance in 2025. It's the M5 GPU with a 30% performance gain, and it's faster on all AI device workloads. The battery life with 30 more minutes and longer AR sessions for users. And then in fabrication, you've got a 3 nanometer process, which improves energy efficiency. So, and then some good things in responses in terms of that. So, another article came out just 3 days ago. This article from Glass Almanac that kind of breaks down the performance and performance with it. And then I ran into this, and I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this, but this might be of help for developers. It's got some basic stuff in it. This comes from theintelify.com, and it's Apple Vision Pro App Development Guide for Businesses. And this came out or was just released today, according to the timestamp. And it's a basic first description of what Apple Vision Pro is, and talks about the adoption, the wide applications, key features, high resolution displays, and then why businesses are investing in Vision Pro app development. Folks have better brand experiences. Brands can create moments for users. And we've certainly seen that with some of the apps that are just focused on brand. There's also operational efficiency, can shorten training. And we've seen examples of training apps and ways in which people have adapted it for training, doing simple prayers or just kind of speed up different processes. And then as a business, you stand out as an early adopter, that your customers will notice that you're doing something very unique. And then it has examples of cases across industry, which I think is pretty cool. And some of these if you've been with this show, you're familiar with it. Healthcare with surgical training and patient education. In the education market, interactive learning in virtual classrooms. With real estate, you can do virtual tours and augmented staging. In retail, you can do virtual try-ons. You can try on clothes, makeups, even glasses. And in-store navigation to know where things are. And finally, in entertainment, immersive games and media. Also live events, as we will talk about in a little bit. So, interesting overview. It's a sales pitch for folks to get into development. The article goes on. It's a rather lengthy article to talk about, identifying goals, studying competitors, these kinds of things that if you're going to do an app development or you're going to develop for Vision Pro, you're going to need to do. It has even estimated costs and cost saving tips in terms of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part, the cost part. where it goes and it says idea creation, 5,000 to 20,000 development, 15 to 100,000 beta testing, 5,000, 15,000 marketing and launch, 5,000 to 30,000. And then it says cost saving tips. Now that you have panicked about how much this is going to cost your company, it says, don't worry about it. Just buy a Vision Pro, start small, a Vision Pro never hurt anybody. Just get one and go do some playing with it. Get a feel for it.
Yeah, and outsource it smartly to save money
Yeah,
without sacrificing quality. Now, I know Dave has this kind of money, but certainly in higher
Please.
certainly in higher education, we don't have this kind of money.
No.
Really what it is things aren't quite there yet. But if you're in a position to get some experience with it and get a good feel for it and try some of this out, this is a good way to do it. Not to go whole hog and spend that much, but to get a Vision Pro and do some playing and get a feel for what's out there. It's early years.
Okay. Well, y'all familiar with this because we've talked about it over the week in various places, but this release of the Flight Ready film brings immersive F-18 fighter pilot footage to Apple Vision Pro. This came out on Veterans Day, the day after we recorded our last show. And I have 3 articles in here, one from 9 to 5 Mac, one from Mac Tech, and one from Apple Insider that cover the information about it. So listeners or viewers can get into understanding this a little bit better by clicking and looking at those articles. Gentlemen, what were your thoughts?
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was probably one of the best views of many of the immersive videos that we've seen so far from Apple. Just the way the cameras were just out in the air as the F-18s are coming and landing onto that aircraft carrier, the Nimitz. Just seeing the perspective of what the pilot sees. I mean, they obviously had some cameras. I still haven't been able to figure out where where those cameras were. Yeah, I mean,
do you think they were drone cameras, Eric?
No, I
there's
think
no
they
way
stuck
because
them
those
on
cameras.
a boom. Those cameras are huge.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way a drone's going to be able to handle the weight of those cameras.
Yeah. I mean,
but
they had one scene where it was on a helicopter, I think, but coming in.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that probably was how it was managed. I liked it too, Dave. I don't know if you have more on this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say just some of the views, like being able to where it was coming into the view of the aircraft carrier. You just don't realize how enormous those aircraft carriers are. That's like it's probably a couple city blocks is how big that those things are. And just when you don't experience that. I mean, I've seen it before, like the movies, Top Gun, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
You saw those in the movies, but this is real life, and especially when they did it at night. I mean, trying to figure out how to land those F-18s in the dark like that was just insane. And those straps that grab onto the plane so it springs it so it slows it down at the end is just. But just to have that immersive experience to it was just pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, the cable. I mean, some of the camera positions were right at the cable hook.
Yeah,
right where the cable comes out of the turret and the plane catches on it and slows it down. So you could get a sense of the magnitude of it and how fast that thing has to react and how the pilots have to catch that cable. Eric, any insights on? Yeah,
it's just an excellent example of the benefit of the Vision Pro to be able to get an experience in a place where you probably are never going to physically be able to go and visit. Certainly not
Right.
while planes are taking off and landing. And to be
Yeah.
able to be somewhere you can't actually get to and feel like you're there, that's that you can't beat that.
Okay,
It
so
was
I'm going to
awesome.
say, Eric, to challenge you on that, one of the earliest immersion videos was the guy swimming under the ice for 100 yards.
Yeah.
So that's probably an area you're going to do. I mean, a lot of these things, a lot of these things I
Yeah.
wouldn't do.
I mean, I wouldn't pick ice that thick, but I can't say that I
I was
haven't,
nice at all.
well, everyone's done the chip through the ice and hop in quick and cool off and hop back out again.
Not me.
No, no, not in
I
Chicago.
wouldn't go
No.
swimming under it, but the
Yeah.
hop in the it's
Okay, so
winter activities.
I want to say something about this, and Eric, because I said last week when it came out, I said, the thing that really bothers me are these ultra close-ups that they have of people that are longer than an arm length or closer than an arm length's distance from you, which at least
Comes
in our
right at you.
culture, yeah, at least in our culture, that feels uncomfortable or that. And you're like, well, that's because you're using the 180. You need to just flatten it out. And it's like, Eric, I don't
Did
want
it
to
help?
flatten it out. No, I didn't try it. It's
Oh,
like, why do I put a VR headset on my head so I can flatten it out so the person's a little bit. I kind of think they should be thinking about that a little bit more. I mean, the person's going to look just as pretty
yeah.
about 6 inches further away from my eyeballs.
Well, so I thought about that, right? And then I went back and I did some watching, and I'm wondering if in some of those scenes where you're too close, you can't physically get further away without being crushed by an airplane or falling off the edge or having something else terrible happen to you. I'm guessing they had a very small area that they could put a camera in, and everyone had their operational areas. And so I think there's some shots. I don't know if you could change it, but
Yeah, he can answer the same questions out on the deck. Uh, you know, a good arm lengths away from me. The
I mean,
other thing,
there.
and this, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
No, I'm just gonna refer back to some of the other immersive videos. I mean, like the Metallica concert. I mean, those fans jumping at
yep.
you. I
Yeah,
mean, that Ray, that musical artist Ray, and you had so much insane close-ups
yeah.
of her face and them coming at you. So you've got not only this one that we're talking about. There's so many other ones that they did were very much like, ooh, I jumped a little there.
Yeah, and I wonder
Yeah.
if that's kind of a decision that if we're really going to
Yeah,
give people a wow factor, they have to be in your face.
yeah,
Well,
And
I think when Apple did that 2-day session on how to shoot videos, they covered the "Are you too close?" and they
mhm.
talked about how to tell and how to review the daily shots to see if something you did was too close, because they said a lot of people are used to looking in the view on the side of the camera as the shots are going in and picking how close and far away they get based on that, and that doesn't tell you that you're way too close to an object. You have to put on a Vision Pro, review the footage. So I'm wondering if some of this is just experience, techniques that people haven't experienced yet to know, oh, review it. Okay, yeah, you're going to have to shoot that differently. Or maybe they just didn't have an option to swap out the footage when they realized things were a little bit on the close side. And the only one they said that was definitely way too close, broke all the rules, but still kind of worked is the rhinoceros one where the rhinoceros comes in and sticks its
yeah.
nose right next to you. That one worked, but it wasn't coming
That
right
jumped.
at you. It's like next to you. And they said that was one where it definitely breaks the rules of being too close, but still kind of worked.
Yeah.
So I think it will improve.
Okay, can I have another petty
Yeah.
complaint? I wish they would have shot some of this on sunnier days because
It's
a lot of it's cloudy and overcast, and I think it takes the wow away from it. That's just me.
Oh, you don't think it
It's
was like
the
putting you into the environment and the place, and it's like watching Hounds of the Baskervilles as the fog comes in. It's more no.
yeah.
No,
It's kind of like the
no.
night scene. I really wish that would have been during the day so I could see them coming in and missing, but it really needed the night. So
Well, it can be. I don't care if the clouds are there at night. I really don't care if the cloud. It
oh
would be
well,
really
okay.
kind of. It would be really kind of nice if the clouds weren't there at night because you would see stars and you would see things out there that you wouldn't normally see.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just kind of,
I
you know,
still
some
don't
of.
know how they got permission to do this filming in the first place. That just impressed me.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
It is a recruitment video for youth who want to go into the Navy
Yeah. It
and
wasn't
do that.
anything top
Yeah,
secret. They're doing training exercises.
Yeah.
true. True.
Yeah, it's hyped me up. It's better than a minute at an NFL game to be able to do that. So
Hmm.
if you haven't seen it again, it is
Well worth it.
well worth it. And I'm trying to. It's flight ready, and you will find it if you look in the Apple Store using a Vision Pro. That's where you'll
Yep.
see it come up, and that's where you'll have access to it. They haven't taken these things and put them in the general Apple TV store, for anybody to look at. They just the only in the immersion tab can you find these kinds of things.
It's not going to be a good
Okay,
experience not on the Vision Pro.
yeah, it's not going to
Yeah.
be. So yeah, I mean that's one of the rights and privileges of paying the entry fee
Yep.
by having a Vision Pro. A bunch of stories. I put maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links in that are related to the PlayStation controllers. That was the big thing that happened this last week. And I gotta tell you, I was really hoping Daniel would be here. And this is usually his week to be here. And we could
Yeah.
talk about these PlayStation controllers. I mean, I have some basic questions for him that I don't know if any of you have an idea of whether or not you can how to use these things. But again, Call to Mac has an article. You won't believe what Apple just added to Vision Pro gaming. Apple now selling this is 9 to 5. Apple now selling the PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers for Apple Vision Pro. And guess what? You can get them right now. I'm looking at the order page here. I can order them and have them by Thursday or Friday if I want to have them,
Hmm.
or go pick them up on Friday if I want to. And then Apple now sells the PS VR2 Sense controllers. This is off of Upload to use with Vision Pro. And Apple Vision Pro controllers now support PS2 VR. This comes out of No Techie. And a Apple Insider article on the same thing. So, guys, help me. What do you know about these things?
I wish I had more for you. I'm not a gamer, so I can't really say.
So these are only going to do me good if I have a PS2,
A PS5 probably.
PS5, I guess. Yeah, sorry. I think the last
Does
PS I owned was a PS2.
Yeah, it's a
does
long
it
time
work
ago.
with does it work with other stuff? Like, can you combine it with a pen to get better targeting?
I don't know.
Because I'm
You,
assuming once you have the controllers, you just need to have something that knows to listen for them. Um, and I don't see it in here, but I was seeing some stuff on Reddit about the software to let you do game pass through that did a bunch of updates, so it's more efficient now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of cheddar on this on Reddit.
There's a lot of gaming stuff that happened in this last week.
Adding support for controllers could turn around the currently minimal gaming experience offered by the Apple Vision Pro with more conventional controls. This gives developers another way to produce games or port them from one controller centric platform for Apple's headset. So, interesting. My son has a PS5.
So you have to give him a Vision Pro and get feedback on whether or not the controllers work.
Oh no, he's already got his eyes on my M2. Not going to happen.
Oh, because you have to order the controllers first, and then he'll take the M2 and the controllers. I understand. That good plan.
Well, he can borrow it. You can at least do that for him.
Yeah. You won't see it again, but yeah,
I mean, at least
it's just
at least
a
he
loan.
can use it. Yeah, what are you doing? You're using an M5 now, right?
Yeah. Might as
Now
well,
it's easy
keep
to-
it operational.
And this is the product information from Apple.
Mhm.
Now it's easy to navigate Apple Vision Pro using PlayStation's VR2 Sense controllers. Experience responses to your in-game actions from subtle to intense with vibration feedback. Reach out and touch the world around you as your controller senses the placement of your fingers and finger touch detection. Charge your PS VR2 Sense controller set and be ready for your next gaming session. So, I got a birthday coming up. Dave didn't hear that one, apparently.
I did.
Huh. I wonder what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm going to get a Talking Heads t-shirt, I think is what I'm going to get. I don't know. I'll do a little more on this for our listeners. If you will, we'll have more to talk about this next week. And also, I'll do a little bit more to find out for us non-gamers what this means. Does this become a different input device for us on the Vision Pro if we choose to do it or choose to use it? So we'll be up on top of that a little bit more. Okay, next article. Yanko Design. Apple, hear me out. An iPhone Pocket, but for Vision Pro's battery pack. This is a concept from Nathaniel Dijon. Cleverly gives that power bank a dedicated holster to make spatial computing more convenient without adding additional bulk. The iPhone Pocket is limited to just 10 stores worldwide. It will only be sold in a limited stock. And
it's already out of stock, so it doesn't matter. But this idea is kind of cool. The
iPhone Pocket is. Yeah, that's right. The iPhone Pocket.
Yeah.
But this idea is a little different.
Yeah, that's neat.
Okay, so we've talked about similar items with this. And, there's the Belkin. And I have the Belkin. And I never used it because I thought I don't have a belt clip. Generally, I have a belt.
Those work.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the D brand. Eric's holding up a D brand for our listeners. I've got a D brand with the clip on it. And let me tell you, I went searching for D brand to get it for my second Vision Pro. You can't purchase that anymore.
Really?
And
oh,
you can't purchase it. You can't purchase it anymore. And I am really surprised when they came out with another with the M5 that dbrand didn't crank up the opportunity to sell some more of those things. But last time I checked, which was probably a week or two ago, dbrand was not selling any of those for anymore. They were completely dry in terms of
Wow.
possibilities. So I'll check again in a while to see it. But you know, Belkin has the clip just like the dbrand, and I didn't remember this, but it also has a lanyard that attaches to it. So you know, it has the lanyard, and I had it in a drawer, and I didn't pay much attention to it. But then I thought, when the sock came out, I thought, you know, one of the things I hate is I'm walking out of my room. I've got the Vision Pro headset on. I've got
Mm-hmm.
the battery in one hand. I'm trying to carry something else in another hand. And I'm trying to open the door, you know, to get out of my office. And I'm like, I'm going to start using this strap. Actually, went on and found this one. So, folks want a kind of
Hmm.
cheaper alternative. This is 16 bucks. I think the Belkin is 59 or something like
Yeah.
that. The only
Huh. Yeah.
perceivable difference that I can tell is that the lanyard is a little narrower in this item.
Hmm.
And it works pretty well in terms of, um, and for those who are watching the video, you can see I'm kind of going through this. This is it's by Amazeer, Amazeer, the Amazeer store, battery holder for Apple Vision Pro, portable Vision Pro battery accessory case with belt clip and crossbody strap. That's what I was looking for. The Belkin
Huh.
also has that. I kind of like this one a little bit better, just in the way it's set up and the way it hangs. So,
I think it's a good idea.
with the battery pack and holder, a story this came out of Tech Announcer, kind of really emphasizing Apple Vision's emphasis on glasses and Vision Pro glasses. You know, when searching for these articles, I don't know how they get away with this. This is not the case. This article at least was time stamped November 15th, 2 days ago from
Hmm.
our actually recording this. But so many articles come, or so many of these articles come out that are written like a year ago, and they
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 just try 'em
change
back
the
out.
they change the timestamp on them, but they don't bother to edit the article. Like, they'll say Vision Pro just came out a month ago, and people are
Oh.
already complaining about it. But it's
Yeah,
timestamped for
that's pretty
like
bad.
last week. And it's like, if you're going to cheat us with a timestamp, at least change what's going on and, rewrite that portion of the article. So,
Yeah.
but this one talks, it's good in terms of the kinds of suggestions and thoughts that you have to do and make different from for shifting from the Vision Pro to Vision glasses. And this is Tech
Hmm.
Announcer exploring the future of Vision Pro, exploring the future of vision, unpacking the Apple Vision Pro glasses. So it does a good job of really doing a good breakdown of it. It's a extensive and long article talking about the kind of challenges the glasses will have in order for it to be successful. So take a look at that if you have a chance.
Hmm.
Let's see what else. Oh, Bloomberg. Oh, Bloomberg. Um, interesting article from Bloomberg out of this week, I believe. I have just a couple of days ago. This article is Apple and Samsung's new XR headsets fight for a tiny market. And, that's basically the concept that they did. They wrote a lot of the same stuff they've written in other articles, and then they just let us know that this is really not a mass market product. And the market itself is not as big as a phone market or other aspects of it. It gives them an opportunity to talk about the hardware and controls or the lack thereof. And then the software differences. VisionOS shows that Apple has put a lot of thought into spatial computing. They don't call it spatial computing on the Galaxy. And it might be because it's also it is a trademark kind of thing that they're doing, but they don't really talk about it in those terms. So it's interesting to see the comparisons. I own, as you guys know, I own a Galaxy XR, and one of the articles that I covered, or it might be in here, is basically a synopsis that says, Galaxy's cheaper. You can tell it's cheaper, and it's got a lot of kind of fumbles and glitches in it. Its hand tracking is not as good. That we all discovered within the first week. So
for the Samsung,
yep.
what is it best at? Like, is there some feature it has, or something it's good at where, you may miss out on some of the other stuff in the Vision Pro, but if that's what you do, you can get away with using the Samsung. Is there anything that comes to mind?
I think it's pretty good, although it's hard to compare this. Hard to compare it at this point, but I think it's pretty good with video and with its clarity in terms of the video. It seems crisp, but there's not a lot that it's being asked to do right now. And so time will tell, and hopefully software improvements will tell. There's some lagginess between where your hand moves and where the silhouetted hand is in it. And I realize now I'm just telling you things that it doesn't do well. But I would guess video. I think its suite of apps, although all very much Google and Android based kind of stuff, are more familiar of an interface for people who want to do things like calendar, notes, those kinds of things will be an easier interface when that goes than what we see at Apple. Hell, we don't even see Apple native apps, native productivity apps on it, on the Vision Pro. But you're talking about trying to compare a device that has the specs are all the same, but the Apple Vision Pro has a 19-month head start. So it's kind of hard to say what doesn't work well with the first gen software that it's running. So.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
helpful.
I mean, yeah, I can also tell you it's impossible to get hand controllers for that thing. Because I have been trying to get the hand controllers, and I actually get an email every time they sell some more. And by the time I get into the email, I had a 3-minute difference before when I got the email announcing that they're on sale now. And I went to purchase them, and they were already either sold out. Well, they were sold out. They sent me the same thing. Do you want to find out when we get more in stock? And I wrote them back and I said, you want to stop jerking me around? Just
Did you
make some
really?
more. No, no, but that's what went through my mind. It's like you've got
Oh,
me
okay.
like like a pigeon in a Skinner box. I'm constantly pressing the bar and not getting any seeds to eat. So stop, you know, get enough in there
I,
where at least I have 3 minutes to purchase before you tell me they're sold out.
obviously, you just need to check and try and buy something before you get the email.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Of course, I'll do it immediately after this show, but no, I'm not gonna do that yet. So, um,
So basically, if you like watching YouTube videos, you're good.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they have their own YouTube setup. They have their own Netflix, but unfortunately, it has to go through my Samsung app for
Oh,
some strange, odd reason, which I opened up maybe 3 years ago when I had a Samsung phone and was playing around with it or needed to create an account.
ah,
And so I just want to put my account information into Netflix and get it to play. Those are the two things that I think are native apps for
hmm.
both of those. And it's funny because then people are like, "Oh, Galaxy has a native app for YouTube." I hope they now have begin to develop one for Apple. It's like you don't
No.
get that relationship, do you? Okay,
No.
so here's another way to spend money.
Oh,
Uh,
goody.
and
You know,
this hit a lot. What?
as I got cut off, I did buy that battery pack holder. So
Oh, you did. I was going to ask you,
Ah,
Dave.
nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I really wanted to know one if you had tried if you're using your D brand,
I still am. Yep.
but are you using it as a belt clip to
Yeah,
or
not so
just as a
much because I looked.
protective? Yeah, yeah.
Not so much. I should, but that other one seems better to clip. That's why for $16 and I had a gift card, so I'm like,
Yeah,
what the
and
hell?
it also has the lanyard on it, so you can just hang it
Yeah,
around your neck and change whatever length you want to
right.
do it. You can do that with the Belkin too, but for $16, this thing is, I think, pretty good.
Yeah.
So, okay, more ways to spend money. Here you go. The Steam frame. This was announced this week. It is, and I don't know a lot about gaming, but I do know some of the people that hang out with my daughter were buying those handheld. They're like switches, but they're
Ah,
for PC games. And then they come out with this headset. I don't know if they've come out with it yet, but I think the article speculates on a lot of stuff, comparing it to the MetaQuest 2 or MetaQuest 3, the Apple Vision Pro, and the Samsung Galaxy XR. Where is the pricing going to land? And the question, will it be, in the $500, $600 range, or are we looking at in the $1,000 range for the pricing on this? They're saying it'll come out in early 2026. And they're, again, trying to determine what the starting price will be. And so this article also gives the specs as it had been announced by the company in terms of refresh rate, speed, what processor they're going to use. Whereas the MetaQuest uses a Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2. This will do a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So, kind of nice comparison of the specs or potential specs with it. Also, hand
hmm.
controllers.
Ooh.
So, a pretty good article. It is Digital India. So I'm sure it has appeared in other forms in other places, but it's where I found it, and it will tell you a little bit more about the Steam frame created by Valve. So,
It's kind of
Dave,
interesting that it says it has monochrome pass through.
yeah. Well, I would guess if it's a gaming device primarily, and what you're going to do is gaming with it, when you're in the game, it's probably full frame. When you're out of the game, you don't need
Oh,
color to walk around the house with it
true.
on. So, any interest, guys?
No.
All I have to do is
Did you
say
see
game.
how light it is? It's like 185 grams. It
Yeah,
doesn't count the battery, but once you add the battery in and the strap, that adds a lot. But without all that, it's light.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I
Interesting.
think I'm going to have to bring this up again next week, so we can get Daniel's point of view on it. All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. This is an interesting article by UC Today. It is Apple Vision Pro 2, what business leaders should know about the future of spatial computing. I don't know why they call it Vision Pro 2. It's not Vision Pro 2, it's Vision Pro M5.
Just because.
Just because they can, huh? Yeah, it's just weird. Well, it also tells you the tech writer who wrote this on November 11th, so did not really.
Well, they published it November 11th. Who knows when I
Yeah.
wrote it? Maybe they
Yeah.
didn't know the
Yeah.
name when they wrote it.
Oh, this is Rebecca Carter. She's kind of a freelancer. I've seen her in other places that she wrote the article, or a bot wrote the article who's named Rebecca Carter. But yeah, it focuses on how it's useful in terms of enterprise, which was the angle of this.
Yeah, I think this was written before the M5 version came out. It just took a while to get published because it talks
Yeah.
about a lot of what if stuff that.
Well, I have the patent from last week. I'm going to put it in the show notes. We don't need to talk about it. A new Apple patent targets AR glasses with single camera eye modeling breakthrough. And we'll just put it in there and save Dave the suffering. And and we'll move on to something else that we have. This I thought was there was a series of articles that were about Apple kind of failing, and this is the term that Macworld used. The one thing Vision Pro is great at is basically guaranteed to fail. And this is live sports events, essentially, what they're talking about in this. And the problem with sports being a really interesting opportunity, 180 Degrees was a company, I guess, that was developing for this, would have run it, and the experience that they could have run into with the problems of streaming. At the same time, a nice little Reddit article, and I think I mentioned this before on another show. It would be cool if they could do the tabletop version of what's going on
Yes.
in the court. And this is a
Yeah.
tabletop version, and if you go to the link, you can see the image in there. But the plays are delayed about 30 to 60 seconds, and the avatars are all generic without any indication of who is on the court. Nevertheless, it's still a cool experience. And another kind of negative article by Apple Insider that streaming live sports to Apple Vision Pro is a pipe dream a startup cannot easily solve. Startup unfriendly is what one of the sections are on it. Guys, you got anything to say?
True. But I think Apple's pouring enough into it that we'll see something. Might take 18 months.
Yep.
But they're going to a lot of trouble to get a bunch of the standards changed to make it so that streaming works. I think there's some issues now with large scale streaming where it's hard to keep everything synchronized. So, given that it takes a little bit of time to change a standard, I suspect they'll be experimenting with it this year. Maybe we'll hear something about it at developer conference next year in the middle of the year, and then by 2026 maybe we'll see something.
Yeah, I
And
hope we do see something in there.
and it looks like whatever they come up with will be standardized enough that you might be able to use it for more than just Vision Pros, even if the experience is best on Vision Pro.
So it could feed
we'll
other
see.
streams, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because once you've got a stream set up, you figure out how to do it. The difference is that Apple can send a stream to one eye, send the differences to the other eye, and then they've got something they can do a heck of a lot of computing on how to display and adjust for things based on extra content. That isn't always available for another device, so it might be rougher. But I mean, once you've filmed it, you should be able to adjust it for other things.
Yeah.
Even if it's most likely to look better on a Vision Pro or, glasses if they ever get to that point.
I'm going to jump because I will close up in a few minutes here, but I want to get to a few things. One article, and it's related to the next article. Logitech MX ink for Quest and Muse for Vision Pro paint an unfinished picture for creative input. And so they have different approach to this. This is on uploadvr.com. And I'll see if I can play a little of the video in here. People putting puzzles together. And then some description of people drawing on a tablet pad, apparently, and trying to replicate the image that's in front of them. So, interesting stuff. But this, I think, was a gold mine that you found here, Eric. This is off of Reddit, and all VisionOS apps supporting Logitech Muse and PlayStation VR controllers, Sense controllers. Okay, so yeah, that sounds really cool in terms of that. And this link to this Reddit post has links in it that will take you to what apps are available for the Muse and what apps are available for PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers. So cool. Thoughts, Eric?
Oh. No, it's just nice to see the list, and it's much bigger than when I last looked at it.
Oh, cool.
So they've added on, and I noticed that there's a couple of comments. So evidently there's more than one list out there, and it sounds like they're mentioning when there's differences between the lists to maybe try and get things updated.
Yeah.
So I see it as a good sign. At least there's a lot of interest.
Yeah. So I know Dave has to leave a little early. He's got a speaking commitment some other place. So,
Yeah.
Dave, make sure you check this link out so you have a reason to kind of start playing with the Muse. Dave, tell us
Yes,
where folks can find you.
yeah, thanks. I don't mean to cut you off here, but yeah, I do need to step away here. You can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com, YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchwithios. Here on Mondays, always love being with you guys. Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, record the show on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the YouTube channel, and the Mac Show on the British Tech Network on Fridays. In Mastodon and Blue Sky, Dave G65, and thanks, guys.
Thanks for being with us tonight. And as always, you're always with us. And I know you've got this speaking gig you're going to do. So I'm glad that you're able to hang
Yeah.
with us this long.
Yeah,
And
no problem.
You know, I'm sure we'll see each other over the next couple of days.
We might. Maybe
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Take care.
Yep.
Bye. Bye.
Night.
So, so anyways, this list looks exciting, and probably the first thing I'll do is look at this list with the PS VR2 Sense controllers, find out what's on there, and that will convince me to order a pair to try them out to see what they can do.
Yeah.
There's an article on I find these things. There's an article on asbestos management. There is actually a company that's kind of talking about how the Vision Pro software can help with a variety of ways, including building floor and room plans. Makes it easy to navigate. You can upload and view edited CAD drawings for interactive hotspots within the building. In terms of, so it's really kind of fun. I mean, if you're into asbestos, it's a lot of fun. But it's really kind of fun because they're talking about these are things that you can use the Vision Pro for. And applications for doing it include asset compliance and audit solutions for building and facilities management sector, asset compliance in property and estate management. So there's some cool things that this company is doing and tying it in. It's environmental-expert.com. Again, the link will be in the show notes so you can take a look at it and see more about that as you wish. Looking in the chat room, we've got a few people in the chat room, and that just wanted to check in with them. Let's see, what else do we have? We finished with that. Why don't we go ahead and look at apps for the rest of the piece here?
Yeah, that works.
So I'm going to start with this one. We went back and forth with this one. This is, and I'm going to stop the video and maybe show a portion of the video through what we're doing here. This is CellWalk. And CellWalk is a app that it's been around a little bit. It's not particularly new, but it is really cool in terms of, and it comes in, you can get it on your iPhone, you can get it on iPad, and you can get it on Apple Vision Pro. And the Apple Vision Pro gives you the kind of dimensionality of it. So the cell is a sphere that's floating in front of you instead of a flattened version that's on your iPad or on your iPhone. And it does some really cool stuff. You know, my original background was in biology. So with that being said, I get fascinated with this stuff. And it's explore the detailed 3D cell biology down to the molecular level, or tour the life's molecular machines. Just very cool. Now, I'm going to share a link where someone is showing, apparently it runs much, there's some things you can do on M5. It's much clearer and much better looking sort of process on M5. And so I'm going to share this video.
So did you get a chance to try it?
So yeah, I did get to try it. It is very cool. And you have to pay for additional pieces if you want additional pieces of it. And the video that you're seeing, if you're watching the video, is the cutaway thing that it can do with the process.
Yeah, I like the three-dimensional view of it. That's
Yeah,
a definite improvement over what you usually get in a book.
yeah. And I don't know if you could hear any of the audio that was going with it, Eric, or no. Okay,
It was a little too quiet.
okay. Yeah, it is very cool, and a very interesting app. Whether you're kind of a biology nerd or not, it's still, if you're not a biology nerd, it will give you an impression in your head of what these things actually look like in your body. Because when I took biology in grade school, all we had were the flat images and pictures with the nucleus in the middle. And
Yep.
this makes it look completely different than what's imagined. And I don't think that's intentional. I think it's actual. This stuff probably comes from electron microscopy, dimensional kinds of, and then building from that in some sort of structure. And yeah, Statler and Waldorf said there is no audio, but probably that's fine. And I'll try and edit the ways I can. Also mentioned that there was a pre-Black Friday deal on Quest 3 S's for $200. That's the kind of lower resolution 3. And by the time he learned about it, he was sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have another one for us. Let me see if I can get this thing working. And it's one that I know you have talked
We've at
about
least
before.
mentioned it before, but it's gotten a couple of updates. They fixed a few of the interface glitches, so the responsiveness is a little bit better. And in the case where you need to see the screen of another machine, this takes care of that. You can do the Mac virtual display if you're right next to the machine, but if you're not right next to it, this lets you connect remotely. A little bit more of a lag with this than with the Mac virtual display, but you can connect, and more importantly, when you do connect, you can drag the mouse around with your fingers, you can click, you can pick stuff up, you can move it around. They did a lot of work developing the interface on the iPad to let the iPad remotely control a Mac or another machine, and this works really well for the Vision Pro now.
So give me an example of a setup for this. I have my computer on at home here. I take my
Mm-hmm.
Vision Pro someplace else with my laptop, and I'm able to open up all three of I can do the Mac virtual display, and then I can
For your
use this
laptop.
app for my laptop. Then I can use this app to connect to my home system.
Well, whether you can connect your home system or not really depends on whether you can get to your home system. In my particular case, I can. It's behind a firewall.
Oh,
But if there is a path to get to your home system, or if you have a VPN that lets you connect back to your home system, yeah, then you can connect to it. My use case is more that I've got multiple minis scattered around the house. and I want to be able to either grab a file or control the machine or check the status of something. This lets me do that. Or if I needed to get to a remote machine sitting in a server data center someplace, I can do that too.
Yeah, and I don't have to just do it with my Vision Pro. I can do it with my phone or my iPad because
Yep.
this
Yes.
application runs on
Yeah.
all those devices. And I just looked at the cost from a yearly standpoint, $24. So it's not a bad subscription rate.
Yeah. And they take
for
that
it.
money and pour it back into development, so it gets better and better over time.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I think that's it for our show for tonight. We've had Stadler and Waldorf, and we also had Paul Burry in there for a while and in our chat room. So thanks for joining us live. Remember, you can join the live stream any Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or catch the video on YouTube or audio on any podcatcher. Eric, where can people find you?
I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to. Otherwise, of course, Monday nights here on Vision Profiles, Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, and Thursdays on In Touch with iOS. So kind of progress between all the different operating systems, wrapping everything up at the end of the week. So nice balance.
And you can find me here, of course, on Vision Profiles with Eric on Tuesday nights with Mac Voices. Also, Dave is there too, and a bunch of other great folks discussing all things Mac. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to catch us on YouTube Live, that's also a fun gig to do. And then Thursdays with In Touch with iOS with Dave on his show at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, streamed on YouTube. And occasionally, as much as I can be, I'm on the Mac Show on Friday mornings on the British Tech Network. I do have a website, thepodtalk.net, and that includes a bunch of shows that I wind up producing. Circular Firing Squad, Gear Up and Go with my son about tech things that you want to use for travel. I also have the Old Mac Gang, which records live on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. And then I've got AI Productivity Workflow, a new show about AI and its productivity and people talking about how people use AI in their work setting. And the fun show, the one that I put my name up to say that I'd do it, is Fade to Chat. And I do that with Cindy Rotz. And it is movies of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. We have looked at movies such as North by Northwest, Arsenic and Old Lace, Some Like It Hot, Gaslight. We just finished Lawrence of Arabia, and this Friday we're going to record Duck Soup. So we're having fun going through some classics and talking about trivia, and some of these movies either of us have not seen. So it's always, sit and talk about a movie with a first timer is always fun. So you can find connections to all of that on thepodtalk.net. Our email is thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. And perhaps you have an idea or you want to join an episode, you can email us at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. You can learn more about us at podtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.